The Chimera strain is a mad scientist horror movie. The movie is about this scientist who is basically trying to synthesize this jellyfish, the one jellyfish that lives forever, that's immortal, which is based on facts. And he's basically trying to use this to heal his family, as his wife has this disease that is killing her, and she ends up passing it to her two children, and they are dying. So he's basically doing all this crazy science stuff to heal his family. But he is kind of losing his mind as he is taking pills, drinking tons of caffeine, staying up ridiculous hours. It's just driving him crazy. On top of the trauma of everything, he's basically losing his mind, which can be seen when he's talking to his wife, who isn't really there, who's basically a vegetable in a hospital bed, or talking to his son and daughter, which aren't there, which I'll go more into what happened with them in the review because it's spoilers. And basically he needs help, and the people helping him are basically out to get him, as just the research that he's doing can basically redefine humanity, as it's just groundbreaking. I mean, if he's able to implement this stuff into his wife and kids, you can basically cure all diseases and people can live for a very long time, if not forever. So that's about the movie without too many spoilers, because this is kind of a mystery movie, and I really want to talk about a lot of the stuff in the review, so let's just get to it. My review to The Chimera strain, and yes, there's gonna be all type of spoilers, so this movie is insanely good. Watch it if you don't want spoilers, but here we go. So basically, he's losing his mind. He's mad, and his wife is dying, and now his kids are dying. So he's actually made these chimera pigs, and he's implanting the organs from these pigs into his children, but it's just not enough. And him being this genius, he decides that he needs more time, as he just can't get this jellyfish shit down. And he's like, look, I'ma cryogenically freeze my children, and that'll give me plenty of time. And he does. He freezes his children. So when he's talking to his children at certain parts of the movie, they're not really there like his wife, as they are frozen. Now, that is just the spoilers on his kids. Now, the spoilers of what makes this movie so good. So, once again, this is even bigger spoilers. So if that was too much for you, just quit, watch the movie. It's so good. Very, very good. Now here is just endgame spoilers, and this is what really wrapped this movie up for me and just blew my mind, as this movie was already really, really good. So it's this chick that he used to work with, and she's basically coming to help him. And as the movie goes on, it's kind of through her view is when you know the kids are frozen and all this. But she helps them. Well, at the very end of the movie, she's talking and she's like giving this interview. And basically, you think that everything's hunky-dory and everything's Golden Girls, and it's just really good. And she's basically saying like, yeah, helping dude, they actually was able to get the jellyfish shit right with this embryo and all this. And you just think this interview is just really, really good. And then they're like, so what happened to the doctor dude? And then this is the very end of the movie, and then the whole movie it blew my mind. So she's like, oh yeah. So basically she starts talking about how this dude was just evil evil, how he froze his kids, made this embryo from this jellyfish, this abomination, how he killed his wife, and all this stuff. And as she's explaining in the interview all the horrible things he did, which she was the the chick helping him, so it didn't even make no sense. You see that what she did was, because he's sleep deprived, when he passed out, she hurries up and drugs him. Ends up unplugging all the things keeping dude's wife alive, so kills dude's wife. Ends up throwing all of her clothes away, calls the police, and acts like she was the victim of dude. And so when the police get there, they find the children, end up taking the children out of the Cairo freeze and shit, but because it was a delicate procedure to do that and they didn't do none of the procedures, the kids die. Dude ends up waking up confused because he was drugged during this whole thing, realized his kids are dead and that the lady was behind it, and he ends up getting the death penalty and gets a lethal injection. All the while, she's basically this hero or this victim that now runs this company, and that embryo with that jellyfish, she ends up actually taking it and having that kid, and at the very end she does experiments on this kid that was hers but not really hers, to basically unlock immortality. She was just this villain that came out of nowhere, just pure evil. Dude's kids died, wife died because of her, and he died because of her, and the whole time you think she was his friend. It was pretty crazy. Huge, massive, long spoilers. So yeah, just in general, this movie had this insane story, great production, insane acting. Really just everything about this movie was insanely good. So my recommendation to Chimera Strain. And honestly, it's really good, and I want to say it's kind of a must-see because of that ending, but we're just going to play it safe for right now. I might eventually put it in the must-see section, but it's for sure highly recommended. I mean, this movie was just insanely good, as you don't really know what's happening, and as it plays out, everything starts connecting, and then just that ending is just absurd because it was just like, it was a curveball, was not in any shape or form expecting it. Super good movie, highly recommended.